The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Eagle Fire Department, Idaho, on your new fire apparatus, job number 31824. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting at the front bumper, you'll find two eyelets down at the very bottom. Moving upward, you'll find two emergency lights forward facing in the grille. Moving over to the headlight, you'll find your low and high beam headlight in addition with turn indicator. Moving to the side of the apparatus on the fender, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Moving up onto the top of the fender, you'll find your turn marker. And also located on the driver's side, you'll find the air intake. Moving up onto the hood in the center, you'll find the pull location for tilting the hood. Moving to the outer edges, you'll find your mirror at the bottom, which is convexed. Moving up to the top mirror, which is going to be a flat mirror. Moving to the center, seamless one-piece windshield, you'll find two windshield wipers located at the base. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the apparatus. You'll find on the right and left side the latch mechanism to tilt the hood. You'll also find down in the lower portion on the step area, this is your diesel fuel tank. And on the very far right in the black tank plastic, you'll find the DEF location. Remember, silver cap is for diesel, blue is for your DEF. You'll also find a locking door latch. Moving upward onto the body, you'll find a grab handle. And at the very top, you'll find your emergency light bar. Down to the driver's side step area, you'll find this aluminum tank silver cap. This is your ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. Moving just backwards to that, you'll find the blue cap. This is your DEF 4.5. Moving up into the cab, you'll find your yellow placard here. This has your information regarding the VIN number, also tire pressures and gross vehicle weight rating. Moving just downward from that location, you'll find your on-off master battery switch. As we move over to the dash itself, just under the dash at about the driver's knee height is where you'll find the key location for starting the vehicle. And then we'll go ahead and move over to the seat itself. You have an air ride adjustable seat for comfort. This is the location for that adjustment. Moving over to the passenger side, you'll find two grab handles located at the front and rear. And then moving downward is where you're going to find your foot pedal for your electronic siren. This is a close-up of that foot pedal on your side. Let's go ahead and look overhead. This is from the driver's position. You're going to find two sets of switches. Let's go ahead and start with the first set of switches. This is the master for your emergency lights. You'll find in the center there is an indicator when it is illuminated. You'll also find the lower zone lights and also the rear zone lights. Moving to the right, you'll find a future location for additional switch. And then as we move all the way further to the right, you're going to find your dump valve in the rear. This is a protected switch, that's why it has the surrounding for accidental engaging. Moving to the right of that, you'll find the siren and also the horn selector, once again an indicator if that has been activated. Let's move now to the center area. We're going to find the left scene switch. Moving to the right, you'll find the right scene, and then you'll find the next switch over is your rear scene. You have a few switches here to the right of that are not labeled. Those are future switch locations if needed. Moving all the way to the far right, we'll take a look at that from the opposite side. Let's start here. This is your PA system. The red switch is the on-off for that for your siren. On the dash itself, you'll find your camera supports. This is the monitor for those cameras. Moving downward, you'll find your filter minder. This is for your air filter inside the engine area. And then you'll find also a switch for normal or ATC. This is going to be for your traction control. Let's move all the way to the far left. This is your Allison transmission pad. It has a digital readout in the location. And we'll move to the right. We'll talk about this in general terms. We'll talk about this section. We'll move down also to your climate control. We'll talk a little bit about that. and then we'll move down to the next section, which is an additional switches for door locks and windows. First, let's start back up at the top section here. We'll start on the left-hand side. First, you're going to find your engaged for your pump. This is a indication, not a switch. Just beneath that, once your pump is engaged, and this is the OK to pump. The next one down from that location will be your OK to pump and roll. Moving just to the right of that, this is a warning light here regarding your tank rack down. This will illuminate for that. And as we move all the way up to the diamond-shaped parking brake, yellow, this is your Bendix air brakes. This is pull to apply the brake, push to release. Moving to the right, this is going to be your PTO for your pump. And as we move further to the right, you'll find your high idle and also a alarm reset switch. Moving all to the right to the digital section here, this is where you're going to find your digital readout here. As we move to the right, once again, all of these are going to be indicator lights. You can see one here is in red. This is do not move your truck. And then as we move further down, you'll find additional information on the other sets of information in those indicators. Let's go ahead and move all the way back to the set of switches here. This is for your cab here. This is going to be your mirror heat. Moving to the right, you have a locking rear end. You also have your DEF, which is your regen switch, and also a interlock for your rear wheels. Moving further to the right, you'll find a blank location for additional switches, and then you'll find your Pierce seatbelt information, red indicating someone is in the seat but not belted, green indicating that they are in the seat but they are belted. Let's move down to the next section in the center column. First, we'll start with your climate control at the very top, fan control and location and climate, heat and cold. And then just down from that in the next section, you'll find your window controls, door locks, and at the very base of this, we're going to find the plug-in. This is for diagnostic checks. And then just beneath that, you'll find an audible alarm. It is adjustable. And then to the right on the face, you'll find two power outlets. These are both barrel style power outlets, 12 volt. Let's go ahead and just take a general look here at the side of the pump panel. We'll talk about this in depth. Let's start at the very top with your pump discharge. This is the pump discharge gauge. Moving down from that, you'll find a latch on the left-hand side. This is to gain access behind the panel. That is not a switch. Moving further down is your pump intake. Let's move all the way to the right side. This is going to be your water level from full, 3/4, half, quarter, and flashing refill. That's a blue section. And then just beneath that, you'll find your vacuum and pressure test ports. They currently have plugs in those. And as we move all the way to the right, we're going to find your pump boss. This is your throttle control and also pump information control. Just beneath that, you'll find an additional audible alarm. It is once again adjustable. And then all the way to the far right, you have an a indicator for your pump. Moving down, you'll find in yellow, this is the number 1 crosslay. Moving to the right, you'll find your number 1 discharge. You'll see that they are color coded. And as we move further to the right in the orange, this is your number 2 passenger side discharge. And all the way to the right, this is your tank fill and recirculating line. Let's move down to the next set of valves here. In the white section, you'll find your number 2 crosslay. And then moving to the right, you're going to find the engine cooler. This is a twist. And then all the way to the right in green, this is your large diameter passenger side discharge. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your tank to pump. And then we'll go ahead and move down to the next section. Let's start at the very top. There is some information here regarding the owner's manual, and only trained professionals should utilize this piece of equipment. You'll also find the location for your discharge color-coded to that lever that's currently at the very top. Large diameter intake with a screen. Moving all the way to the right, this is going to be your primer. It's an air prime. And then we'll move all the way down to the very bottom of the pump panel area. We're going to find this is specifications here regarding the type of pump that you have. And as we move to the right, this is your air inlet. Moving to the right again, this is going to be a ball valve. This is your 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. And moving further to the right, you'll find your pump drain. And then all the way to the right in yellow, this is an auto eject shore power inlet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the very top without any of the components fully in place. These are the crosslay locations, and as we look, you'll now see you have your 3 crosslays here. Let's go back underneath the pump area. We'll find some drain valves here. These are pull style. This is for your number 1, which is clearly indicated in red, and this is the 2.5-inch driver's side auxiliary drain. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the apparatus. You can see currently this is pre-construction, so you have 2 spots here for side-facing floodlights, and in the very rear an emergency warning light. As we move to the bottom, in between the duals, you'll find an emergency warning light here, and as you move up, you can see bottle storage location. This is the turn marker indicator for midship. And then as we move all the way to the front section, inside this compartment is where you'll find your plugged into shore power, your battery charger, and then once again your SCBA compartment. I've got some other images here where it's all kind of buttoned up, and you'll get an idea what that looks like in the finished product. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear section of the apparatus. Once again, pre-construction area. And let's go ahead and take a look now once it's finished. First, on the left-hand side, as it is on the right, this is going to be your emergency lights, turn indicator, brake, and warning. There are also 2 switches back here, one for lighting and the other is for your dump valve. And as we move all the way down, you'll find 2 attachment points. There is a warning label that's currently not placed there that will indicate instructions on that. You also have a top ladder here for gaining access to the top. There is some also warning labels just to the side of those ladders here regarding riding on the back of apparatus, and a warning for that. Let's go ahead and move all the way to the top. Moving from right to left, you're going to find some emergency warning lights on each side, and then directly in the center you'll find your rear facing floods, and located directly in the center is a protected camera. This is for when you're in the reversed mode. And then down at the bottom in the center, this is going to be your chute. Let's take a look at the offside here, passenger side, large diameter intake. Moving just to the right, 2.5-inch discharge, passenger side, and then with the panel off, you can see that this is your large diameter discharge at the very top. Across the very bottom, you'll find all of your discharge drains. Now we're talking with the arrow now to the large diameter discharge. Let's go ahead and take a look at a closer view here. You can see the 2 plug locations, one for direct fill in your tank. This is going to be a top view here with your camera and emergency warning lights. Side view here, you can see the direct fill 2.5-inch. And then as we look on the side, you'll see the rack here for your equipment. This is for your portable tank. Now with the panel closed, you can see this is your large diameter discharge, passenger side. And then also moving just to the forward position, this is going to be the control module here to operate your equipment rack. Moving up from that location, this is going to be a pan style door that gains access behind the pump panel. As we move to the very front, just a general view of the front of your apparatus, side of your apparatus, general view here of the passenger or driver's side with the panel fully intact. And now we have images here with all of your components placed on the side of your apparatus. In this compartment, this is the front compartment driver's side. You'll find your battery charging system. This is when you're plugged into shore power. This will activate and charge your batteries. As we look to the rear section, there is a smaller compartment door here, and then we'll go ahead and show you when that door is open for storage location. There is LED lighting strips inside for easy visibility. And as we look here to the very rear section of the apparatus, you can see those 2 switches here for your dump. At the very top, you can see the access point for your ladder. And then as we go all the way to the top, you'll see the top no skid on the top, and also perimeter safety tape. General view here of the side of your apparatus. Once again, rear section, side of your apparatus. Let's go ahead and take a look inside those compartments also. Roll-up doors here. I would like to point out on this side, this is your diesel exhaust, and it is relatively hot, so be cautious as to where you park. Down at the panel itself, you'll find all of your discharges for your large diameter, number 2 passenger, number 2 crosslay, and also your number 1 crosslay, once again color-coded. Let's go ahead and move up from this location. We'll have the pump panel closed on this side now. You can see the access door and also the light just slightly above this location. Here's a full view of your crosslays. As you can see, the very rear section here is going to be a dead load. Congratulations, Eagle Fire Department, on your new fire apparatus, job number 31842. If you have any questions as to the build of your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you.